LaTanya is, if you knew her whole story, she's probably one of the most interesting people you'd ever meet. Her background in terms of being a high-risk student who was raised by a grandparent. She didn't have any sort of background of privilege, and she's one of those that really worked her way up, pulled her bootstraps and worked her way up. And it's unique and inspiring to see somebody who came from that kind of background, who has worked for every single thing she's gotten and has become so successful.
My mother was 15 when she had me. My father I never knew. Growing up in poverty with my grandmother, the one thing that changed my future was education. Because when you look at my past, this shouldn't be my present, but because of education it is. And so I'll never forget, I told a friend that I was going to change to education. I was going to be a teacher, because it was teachers who exposed me to the real world. It was a teacher who took me to my first restaurant. So I wanted to be that difference maker for other kids.
Dr. Goffney is, first of all, she's a forward thinker. She's not stuck on what is. She has a passion about making things better for kids. And as I've watched her grow through these 8 years, the district has been continually growing, reaching out to students, and she is very well organized. She's a people person, and she develops leaders along the way. So.
I don't see her as a real political person. I see her doing what she feels is best for the children in the school district. That's what it's all about, and that's what she's all about. And that's what she communicates to the school board and out in the community. She's probably our biggest cheerleader. So therefore, I don't see her really having to I don't see it with her as a real political issue. Because politics, I don't feel like become a part of it because of her authenticity. She just makes it natural.
I knew LaTanya, she was in my master's class when I first came to SAM a long time ago, and she was in my school law class. And one of our first conversations had to do with, we both had children within the last year or so when I had her in class. So we started kids with special needs who'd had some special circumstances. And so we had a natural conversation starting point, and it was just a great friendship and professor-student relationship that started from there.
I had teachers who were powerful, and Dr. Edmondson, I met her, when you get your bachelor's, you're kind of part of the herd, and they sort of separate the herd when you start getting your master's degree. And so it was actually, she was my greatest inspiration. She was young. It wasn't just about teaching the content or completing a syllabi. It was truly about, helping us to find our place as far as leadership was concerned. Because at one point I didn't know if I wanted to be a counselor or a principal or what direction I wanted to go to. But of course, Dr. Brown, I remember when I was trying to decide between counseling and the principalship, I went and talked to her, and she said, "You're a principal, darling. You're a principal." And so I'm a principal. I became a principal. And so, and of course, Dr. Irby and others. I remember Dr. Fisher, the female specifically, because a lot of times being a young female from a country town, you don't see educated females. So to be in their atmosphere or to be in their environment was powerful for my education through Sam Houston.
And she has an expectation of excellence out of everyone. The fresh ideals that she puts into place, but a lot of it is just she'll sit us down in a meeting, or she'll sit us down in here and say, "I want to accomplish this, and this is the reason for it." Or she'll bring someone in that can help us with that. But a lot of it just comes back from seeing her, knowing that she was the person that did it day in and day out at the same time, and that she can provide that commitment to it and expects you to provide that commitment to it. She can be a pretty tough taskmaster when it comes down at the end of the day and make sure that it gets done. But a lot of it is just, there's no doubt in your mind that she has a commitment to it. She would do it, and she has an expectation that you would do it as well. And really instills confidence in everybody else. You know that she has your full, or her full support is behind you in whatever you're going to do. Once she tells you to do it, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that situation.
I have seen the growth from 4th grade all the way through where she is now. She was my 4th grade student, as I said before. She was also my principal at the intermediate school for several years, and then she became my superintendent. And through it all, she has just grown so much. She loves education, and you could tell it in the steps that she has taken.
Dr. Goffney, I would like to congratulate you on behalf of all of the staff in COCISD and specifically the high school. We are so proud of you, and we are supporting all of your endeavors in our district and beyond. And congratulations.
Dr. Goffney, we would all, the school board and I, would like to congratulate you on receiving this wonderful honor. It is our honor to work with you here in Cold Spring Oakhurst School District. We appreciate you.
Congratulations, LaTanya. I could not be happier, could not be more excited for you. Nobody deserves this as much as you do, and I am just so, so proud of you and happy for you.
I decided to change careers from business to education because I always enjoy working with students, with the kids. In my free time, I will work and volunteer with Star of Hope and the church. And that's when I decided that maybe I just needed to come and become a teacher. So I did some research. I also volunteer with Junior Achievement, and that's when I realized I do enjoy being in the classroom, and I decided to become a teacher.
Her experience and her culture is a great asset for herself and our campus. For example, she is a bilingual teacher, and she has students that come from various backgrounds who are English language learners. So she incorporates many of her own personal experiences to relate to her students and help them to become a more well-rounded student in both English and Spanish.
I also can share my experiences with the students. We are all coming from another country. This is new experiences for us, so I can share that with them, as well as when you come and learn a new language. It can be challenging, but it's also exciting to learn new culture, a new language, and meet new people.
I nominated Ms. Rodriguez because she's a person that is of good character. She's the same way with every single person. She's not one way with one person and a different way with somebody else. She's extremely genuine. She's caring. She's extremely professional, very organized. You walk into her classroom and everything is organized. She has systems in place. Her students know what to do. Her kids love her. She has long, straight hair, and all her students wanted long, straight hair. They started making their hair straight just to be like her.
Felicitaciones, Ms. Rodriguez. Eres la mejor maestra.
I stay positive because I know it's hard at the beginning of the year, but as you see them progressing, it gives you that feeling of achievement that they learn, and you see their results, the way they talk, how much have they progressed throughout the year, and it just fulfills that passion that I have for teaching.
Congratulations, Romaira. You are a wonderful teacher. It is a pleasure and an honor to work with you. And even though you're at a different school, I wish you all the best, because I know that you are just you're gonna achieve everything that you've ever set out to do. And I'm just happy that I'm one of your friends that can see that happen.
Congratulations, Ms. Rodriguez.
One professor that I will acknowledge from my master career, someone that was there for me, was always guiding me, will be Dr. Butler. She helped me and answered many questions and guided me when I had any problems or any questions in class, or even besides in another classes.
Ms. Merle serves as a great role model for all of our teachers on campus. She is extremely positive. She believes in making relationships with students, and she uses research-based instructional strategies every single day in her class. There's a wide variety of activities that you will see every period, every day with her to engage students in learning.
I remember one particular student that came to my office. He came quite frequently because he was always in trouble. He didn't have the support at home. And he was very successful in Miss Merle's class. He never got a referral from her. And so I questioned him one day, and he said, made the statement that Miss Merle was just like his mother. And she taught from her heart, and the students would pick up on that and respond to her in a way that other teachers couldn't get their kids to respond.
Struggling students with reading is not their favorite subject, definitely. You have kids who do not like to read, and you try to help them with finding things that interest them. So I always do an interest survey at the very beginning of the year to kind of find out where they are with their interests, and I work with them on that. With the struggling part of it, as far as the reading, if they're struggling with reading, some of them just don't like to read, so they don't read, and it's not really that they're having trouble with it. But the kids who are really struggling with reading and writing, I offer tutorials for them. I do hot chocolate tutorials, and they really like that. But I try to give them some kind of incentive, because I think that you have to get a way to get them in there wanting to change, and also giving them something, starting out with something that's not so difficult for them, and letting them feel successful. They need to have that success, feel that success before they're going to keep on going on their own. So I work with them individually. I try to contact parents. I find different programs that will help them, one-on-one pull-out sessions that we do to help them with testing, so they'll feel more comfortable when they come up with the testing, because you have a lot of kids who are reading at a lower level. They're not on 8th grade level. You don't find that very often to where they're going to be right on level or above. So I work with them in many ways, and it seems like those are the kids who have the behavior issues too. And so I just try to treat them with kindness, show them that I'm there for them, pull them out, and they don't like that at first, the pull-out sessions. But once they start feeling successful with reading, then you see a little bit of a change.
Deanna would always go above and beyond her call of duty. You could depend on her in the classroom as well as outside of the classroom. Whatever you would ask her to do, she would do it wholeheartedly and never complain, and always had a positive attitude. She was very dedicated, sincere, honest, loyal, and the kids saw that in her, and they respected that about her.
She gets like a connection with the students that most teachers don't. She gets a personal relationship. Like, we had a cheer competition, us three, and she came to our cheer competition in Galveston, which really meant a lot to us, because you ask some teachers and they're like, no, they're good. But she actually came. She drove. After school Friday, she came and watched us, and she cheered us on. She stayed like the whole weekend with us, and it really meant the world to us because she came.
Coaching is something that I've always wanted to do. I did cheerleading coaching for many years, and I wanted to coach volleyball because my daughter was in volleyball for so many years, and so I thought that would be something that I wanted to try, kind of like a bucket list thing. But I had the opportunity to coach volleyball, started out with track, and it really helps in the classroom because I have girls I coach in class for language arts, and they know what the behavior, the expectations are going to be before they even come in there. So it makes it a lot easier to work with those girls in the classroom, not just coaching.
Miss Merle, she teaches differently than most teachers. She sets the bar very high, and she's very proud of you whenever you do good. I just think she's one of those teachers that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
She's inspires me to do so much more because she pushes you to your goal, and that's what's good about her. She pushes you to achieve more. And last year, my grades were good, but this year I'm having A's and stuff. And she's pushing me to do my best, and she's giving us she's making us do AR tests every week, and it's just pushing you to do more.
Well, I came to know Deanna when I worked at Huntsville ISD as curriculum director. and worked with the Manspark Middle School teachers there. Was just amazed at the depth of knowledge that she had about curriculum and how she took that knowledge and really used it in the classroom to get students where they needed to be instructionally.
I started the master's program back when I was a teacher in Huntsville, and something that I struggled with when I was a kid was reading. We had the little I believe it was SRA, where you had the color coding and you had to read on a certain level, and I always had trouble with that. And even when I got into high school, I had trouble reading, but I never had anybody help me with that. So that was something that when I got to SAM and started the reading, it was my minor, reading was my minor, and I thought that would be something that I could do with kids. So when this came up to where I could work on it in my master's, that was an opportunity that I wanted to take to work with kids, because I do that anyway. I already teach language arts, and reading and writing are a huge part of that. So that's something that I wanted to pursue, and I want to help kids with their reading, and that's why I'm in the master's program at SAM.
When I moved to